Hi everyone. Are you thinking ahead to Valentine's Day? Do you have a significant other? Or even if you don't, it's just nice to get dressed up on Valentine's Day wearing something festive, whether it's red or you have fabric with hearts. Last year on clearance, I picked up a black double brush poly with red hearts on it. And I was thinking about making something this year, but you know what? My husband and I are going to kind of a fancy restaurant near where I live. Not super fancy, but fancy enough where I can get dressed up and wear something pretty. So I wanted to make something new, and I was thinking about making the Patterns for Pirates Kelli dress right here out of this fabric right here. Now this is Panay velvet. I love it. It looks beautiful, but I have worked with Panay velvet before, and one of the bugaboos that I find with this fabric is it never seems to have as much stretch as the pattern calls for. So I do have to do a stretch test on this, and if you have never seen a stretch test nor how to figure it out, I'm going to be doing another video right after this one to show you how to determine the degree of stretch in a fabric. And it is so important because this Kelli dress right here is very form-fitted. If you don't have enough stretch, it is not going to fit. I've made things like that and early on, and you just don't want to go there. So I don't think this is going to work with the Kelli. So then I pulled another fabric out of my stash. I'm shopping the stash, and this one right here, I think this one is either an athletic brush poly or a double brush poly, but this has beautiful sparkle on it. And maybe I originally bought it for leggings, I don't know, but I think this might work out very well for a Kelli dress accented in red, maybe with some red shoes, red jewelry, a red purse. I do have one of those. And I just think that might be more suitable. And then maybe I'll just make a quick red jacket to go over this. I know I have some red fabric in my stash for that. So this is going to have, I believe, enough stretch, but there again, I have to do a stretch test on this just to make sure. Whenever you make a garment that is form-fitted, like I'm going to be making this Kelli dress, I think what I will do, because I've never made this dress before, I'm going to make my side seam allowances 1 inch. That is super important because the original seam allowance in Patterns for Pirates is typically a 1/2 inch, but just by making it 1 inch, and then I'll do a test stitching at a 1 inch seam, if I feel it is slightly too tight in certain areas, I can always let out that seam allowance. If you have a 1/2 inch seam allowance and you let it out a 1/4 inch, you're at that 1/4 inch seam allowance, and you will get an extra 1/2 inch here and a 1/2 inch there by letting out your seams a 1/4 inch. Maybe 1 inch is all you need, but if you need that little extra, 1 inch seam allowances always provide fit insurance, and I highly recommend them. I got that tip from Sandra Betzina way back when, and she's big on fit insurance, and so am I. Whenever I would teach my leggings class, I'm like, no, you don't cut the seam allowances as stated by the manufacturer. I usually use the Patterns for Pirates peg legs pattern. You make those 1 inch so we have a little bit more to work with if some area is too tight. So again, I'm going to do the stretch test on this. Now, if by chance I decide I don't have enough stretch, what I might do is make a high-low circle skirt out of this fabric and maybe make a black crop top. And I don't mean like a short all around, but the Patterns for Pirates boho baby doll right here, I have made several dresses from this pattern, and when I would try it on for fit on the top portion before I attach the skirt, I thought, wow, this would make a really cute crop top because it's higher in the front and then it goes lower in the back, and I just thought it was really spectacular. So I might make this as a circle skirt and then make a black crop top with something to wear over it, or maybe I'll just make a little jacket out of this as well. So I don't know where I'm going with this yet, but I am going to have a Valentine's Day outfit, and I'm just trying to do some prep for it right now. My fabrics are washed and dried, and the upcoming stretch test will determine what is being made for Valentine's Day. All right, you guys, be sure to check out my next video that should be up right when this one is uploaded on how to determine the stretch percentage for fabrics using several different methods. All right, you guys, take care and happy sewing.